What's up, YouTube? Welcome back, JDS Outdoors. It's John here. Coming back at you with a little Ranger update. And also a little update about the weekend. So, for starters, poor old Super Duty there went through a hailstorm. But you're not here for the Super Duty. You're here for the Ranger. So let's check out what's been done since the last video. Well, she's still up on jack stands with one heck of a mess underneath her. But we'll start up here in the back. So the first thing that we've done, the axle was already disconnected, or the leaf springs, from the shackles. So we went ahead and removed what was left of the brackets. Now on this side here, let's see if we can find what's left of the bracket. Wait, no. That's pretty much it. A couple little chunks on the driver's side. That bracket was gone. Now for the passenger side, there was a little bit more of the bracket left, but nonetheless she still wasn't very pretty. So we went ahead and removed that one too. Another thing I've went ahead and done is threw a coat of paint on the frame. Just in the back part here. I'll work on the front later. Probably not done 100% the right way, just by putting some paint on it, but something's better than nothing, right? I mean, this is an old truck, and I kind of care about it, but I kind of don't. I just want it to be a little bit more protected from the rust so it lasts longer. On the bright side, I've seen a lot of these frames back here by the bracket, where the bracket goes, that were rusted behind it, and this one's pretty solid all the way around. So at least we have a truck that's worth working on. So that's pretty neat. Now let's jump up to the front of the truck here. Went ahead and removed the windshield. Reason being is because it's got a little bit of rust in the track where the window sits, and the green truck's got a good windshield, so we're going to pull that one out and put it in this truck. But before we do that, we're going to finish cleaning this rust up, put some self-etching primer on it, and do a little bit of a black border around the side here, and then bring it out onto the cowl, stopping at this body line right here. So from here over is just going to be primed and painted black, just to help seal in the rust and keep it from getting worse. And the reason this rust was in here is because over here on the driver's side, right here, the windshield was cracked. Had a hole in it and was allowing water to get down inside and in this track and not drain. So that water went down inside the cab, over onto the floor. Down here on the driver's side, it made a couple small little holes in the floor. Now, what we've done so far is cleaned up, other than gut the entire interior, is went ahead and removed all the excess rust, and we sprayed it down with some bed liner just to seal it in. Now, like I said earlier, I kind of care about the truck, but I kind of don't. I just want it to work. So I am going to just put a piece of sheet metal down and seal these holes up better. The holes. And put some more bed liner just to keep it from rusting more. I mean, it's still going to rust because it's an old truck, but we live in Minnesota, or I do at least. As far as the interior goes, the green truck is a regular cab as well. It's got carpet in it. So we're going to pull that carpet out. We're going to put it inside here, along with the seats. Make this XL truck into an XLT, so to speak. So it should be pretty sweet. And the door panels as well. These door panels are going to go off. And the reason for that is because the green truck doors have this little pocket in them. Just overall a nicer door panel. So we're going to install that in there too. and throw the seats away out of this white truck. Because the only seat that was worth a crap was the passenger seat, but I want them to match. So, green truck seats it is. And up to the front of the truck, underneath the hood here, I had a little bit of a lifter tick. Nothing too concerning. This engine does have 215,000 miles on it. Still have plenty of power. I mean, as much power as you can get out of a 2.5. So we went ahead and put a bunch of cleaner in it. We changed the oil. Then I put some more cleaner in it, and I ran it several times over the last week. Brought it up to operating temperature to circulate all that fresh cleaner and fresh oil through, and it quieted the lifter tick down some more. This afternoon, after getting it up to operating temp again, I went ahead and drained the oil. So I'm doing another oil change on this truck before I've even driven it out on the road since the last oil change. That is just to help clean out everything as much as possible. So, there we have the update on what's been going on this truck so far. But while that back paint dries, we're going to finish up this oil change, topping the fluids back off, and then we're going to go ahead and put those back brackets on the suspension. So after I get the back brackets on and the shackles and the suspension hooked back up, I'll cut back in with a little bit more of an update for you guys. I suppose I should probably show you what I'm actually doing in the back of the truck. Replacing the hanger bracket that bolts to the frame, replacing the shackle that goes from the hanger bracket down to the leaf spring itself, and new shocks. Other than the shocks, these two brackets, or the bracket and the shackle here, are Dorman parts. So if you are looking to do the same thing to your Ranger, I believe this works 97 to 02. Don't quote me. Might work for other ones. But anyways, the leaf spring shackle Dorman is 722-001. That's for the shackle. Seems to be pretty damn good quality. And for the bracket kit, 722-010. So that would be this piece right here. So if you, which this is extremely common on a lot of Rangers, are having the same issue where your shackles are broken and your leaf springs are either rest up against the bottom of your box or stuck here in the bracket like it was on the passenger side of my truck, them are the parts that I used, and that will work for you as well. Helpful hint, this is the old piece that went through the leaf spring. That would be this piece right here. It's got a rubber grommet around it. It's extremely tight inside of the leaf spring. The easiest way to get that out is to burn it out. So you run a torch on it for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. As soon as it starts oozing black bushing material out, then you just tap it with a hammer, it comes flying right out. So that's how you get that out. One other thing, after this whole project's all said and done, and we have scrapped the green truck and the blue truck, I'm going to do a what did this project cost video on this truck. So if you want to know what everything costs, how much money I have into this, feel free to keep checking into my videos so you can see what it cost and what I ended up with. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Another thing that happened this weekend is I got a flatbed for the back of this truck. I'm not going to give it away yet. It was super cheap. It's going to be awesome, and it's all aluminum. I'm going to show the hack on how to do that, or what I did to get this badass aluminum flatbed for this truck. But I'm going to wait for another video. So you're going to have to stay tuned to see that. But now, time to throw these parts in the back of this truck and see what else we can get done on this gloomy Sunday afternoon. watching the rain and the tornado watches come over the cell phone. So what better place to watch thunderstorms than underneath the truck? So see you in a bit, guys. So getting this little piece in here into the leaf spring is a bit of a challenge. So I figured I would show what I did to overcome this. So first thing you want to do is put a little bit of grease on one end of this bushing and set it in the leaf spring just like that, just so it holds itself in. If you notice in the frame here, there's a hole. So get you a piece of all thread, put some nuts on one end and like a big washer, something along those lines, and put it through that hole, slowly feeding it into the bushing and the leaf spring, just like that. Then put 2 washers on the end and another nut. Just like that. And then you want to take a piece of 2x or some piece of wood and have it ready to stick in this frame as soon as it or between the frame and the leaf spring, as soon as it starts to get tight. So once you get it about halfway in, it should look something like this. It's nice to have one of these open-end ratchet wrenches with another wrench on the other side and just suck it on in. It's pretty much as easy as that. You just keep wrenching and wrenching and wrenching until it looks like that. All nice and sucked in. And it's nice to do both sides before you put the brackets on. Otherwise, you're going to have issues lining your leaf spring up with this hole in the frame. Speaking of brackets, another hint is mount the shackle to the bracket before you put the bracket on the frame. Unless you have your box off, you're not going to be able to reach this nut, because it's going to sit back in there and it's too close to the frame to get a wrench in there. So put the shackle on the bracket before the bracket goes on the frame. So after you get the brackets put back on the frame and hooked up to the leaf springs, they should look something like this. Got it all bolted up, both sides, even through the new shocks on. So that'll pretty much wrap up the suspension for the back part of this truck. The next step is going to be to clean up this horrendous mess I have underneath here, and also put the tires on, which we still have yet to pull off the green truck. Once that's complete, start working on this interior, getting that plated, sealed, windshield track cleaned up, painted, and the new windshield installed. And then we'll be ready to test drive this thing again and figure out what's going on with the brakes. Because they work, the pedal just pulsates. Kind of feels like you have warped rotors, but the whole pedal moves. It's just weird. But anyways, if you want to stick around and see what we have in store for the flatbed, it's sitting right out there. Right out that window is where the flatbed's at. But if you want to see what that is, feel free to hit subscribe. Stick around. Let me know what you guys think of this project so far. I know we're 3 Rangers deep into just making one truck, but sure is getting interesting. Also have a few other videos coming out real soon involving some more electrical stuff. not only electrical stuff with this truck, but some other things. So stay tuned for that. As always, thank you for watching JDS Outdoors.